Welcome. In this edition of Kurukshetra, we would talk about Sahakar se Samriddhi, that is cooperation. Sahakarya, Saha means together, Karya means work. So the outcome of which is because of all-inclusive approach. So cooperatives have emerged as a excellent way of delivering goods and services at a local grassroots level. Amul Cooperative in India is a classic example. India, along with other countries of the world, have numerous cooperatives which are multi-purpose, multi-dimensional, and they aim to build the community at a much stronger base. So 7 golden principles for cooperation involve membership, a control of the member, participation in terms of economic participation by the member, making them independent, providing them autonomy, good training and research, and cooperation and concern for the community. Now, in India, the only way that we suggest is cooperative federalism, that is, cooperation is a state subject. The state cooperatives governed by state-specific legislation and the union government responsible for managing those multi-state cooperatives. So, under the 97th amendments, we can meet the challenges of cooperative sector, and this was under the 97th Constitutional Amendment Act 2011, which granted protection to cooperative societies by giving them good constitutional status. Now, when we are talking about India as a cooperative country, or when we focus on cooperative federalism in India, if we look onto the backdrop, 20% of the cooperative credits have nearly 8.5 lakh cooperative units, which are 20%. And the remaining 80% are non-cooperative. That means there is a huge scope to increase to cooperative societies. Primarily agricultural credit societies at the grassroots level are important. There are nearly 96,000 primary agricultural cooperative societies forming 91% of the villages. 63,000 are viable and active. Then we do have various dimensions which explore in the term of team. T for transparency, E for empowerment, A for Atmanirbhar, M for modernization. The dimensions to lay out the new cooperative policy involve laying down a hassle-free registration, bringing in transparency in terms of electing the bodies, cooperation and coordination, working with the linkages at village level, and providing cooperative laws within the state. So what are the ways ahead? We can have regional level agglomerations, regulatory complexities, leadership challenges, lack of cooperation. So all these aspects need to be checked, and then a proper empowerment and focusing on the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam can then be made possible. There are various other dimensions of cooperative movement which require good attention to have a proper coordination, exchange of education, training, good transparency and diversification, participation of the youth and the women. Now, if we talk about the India's 75th year of independence, we are focusing on Atmanirbhar Bharat, through which we focus on cooperative development under a common economic, social and cultural backdrop. With nearly 8.55 lakhs cooperatives, there are nearly 13 crore people who are directly associated with cooperatives. Of the 300 biggest cooperatives worldwide, Amul, IFFCO and Crickbo are the major ones. The vision is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas. So what is the basis that leads this cooperative movement? The workforce participation for the females. In urban it's only 14%, in rural it's 24%, much higher. Similarly, the worker population ratio for male and female has been significantly different, from 73% to 31%. The female workforce participation has declined in the recent 20 years, and of the main cooperatives, only 2.5% are exclusively women-run cooperatives. So, International Cooperative Alliance Asia Pacific has this report. 45,000 women have been associated with Lijjat Cooperative. Similarly, there are various cooperatives like Mahila Seva, Lok Swasthya Cooperative, Krishna Dhyan, cooperative, which is the midwife, Sangini Child Care, and so on. So those are exclusively run by women, owned by women. So the idea is India has a huge young population. The mission is to bring this movement to the grassroots level, where with more than 2/3 of the population and 72% of the workforce in rural area, cooperative could be a good viable option rather than moving to mass production. We can talk about production by masses. So cooperative movement in India can be highly successful with the enactment of Cooperative Credit Society Act 1904. But the challenges we must be well versed with, which is low participation of SC/ST women and vulnerable section. The membership is meager in few states. The units are not economically viable. There is lack of proper functioning. So we have a National Cooperative Development Corporation. It is a statutory organization under Ministry of Cooperation, and this was established under the Act of Parliament in 1963. It runs through focusing on production, processing, storage, marketing of agricultural produce and various cooperative things. Yuva Sehkar, Ayushman Sehkar are some of the examples for the same. The assistance has gone up in the last 4 years by nearly 6%, and then financial assistance have been given. The next is modernization and making these cooperatives competitive. To make these cooperative competitive, one important thing is building up the skills, bringing in a multi-stage cooperative segment, schemes for expanding the cooperative activities. Now this could be in the field of agricultural infrastructure funds, it could be in the field of dairy processing, fisheries, tribal cooperatives under TriFed, it can be in the form of the Lakshman Rao Imandar National Academy of Cooperation Research, which talks about promoting the nodal training centers, e-marketplaces to be developed, digitization of the functional primary agricultural cooperatives, bringing in stakeholding by the women. So bringing in entrepreneurship at the cooperative level is again important, but due to diversity in the nature of the members, the people who manage it, this becomes pretty difficult. The idea is to strengthen the structure with proper disposal of loans, low transition cost, better audit facilities, reduce the imbalances, and create a national database, which would be a national cooperative database identifying the proper channels and the proper connectivities to make this more viable. Awareness, training, technological development, finance, procurement, mentoring are some of the important steps. Some of the recommendations include focusing on cooperation versus cooperatives, talking about a universal coverage, a single unique identity for each cooperative to be established, a awareness program, capacity building schemes, focusing on digitization, credit risks, talking about the participation at the various levels. To make vibrant tomorrow, we need to have good cooperatives, and for this report there have been various points which have been laid down. For example, one of the topics says that the world's largest cooperative movement laid the foundation in India with nearly 2 lakh cooperative dairy societies, 330 cooperative sugar mills. This is a significantly high figure. We have nearly 36 lakh milk producers in Gujarat itself. There are various categories under which cooperative societies are seen in India. These are in the form of credit society, farming society, producer cooperative, marketing cooperative, housing cooperative, and consumer cooperative. Similarly, for agriculture, providing credit, facility for the poor, helping consumers and small businesses is important. 3 successful cooperatives we have already mentioned. Settling Organic Farmers Association, SOFA, is another important one. Then from cooperatives, we are moving to farmer producer organizations. Now they have been a viable alternative to cooperatives because they talk about small commercialization and increase the farmer income. They act as self-help groups, and general goods could be provided to increase better pay stake for the small and the marginal farmers. So these farmer organizations could be community based, resource oriented, or market oriented in nature, and they actually benefit the marginal and the small farmers. The first type of it is a village level cooperative, which includes the members of the village with the small holdings, diversified crops. The second type talks about a specialization in a single commodity, and value adding to it, bringing it to the market, expanding the markets for it. So it is output dominated. So farmer producer organization mainly focuses on these issues and aim to establish a forward and a backward linkage. Forward linkage in the case of marketing, processing, production to the market. Backward, the inputs that are coming, so seeds, fertilizers, credit, insurance, and so on. Now, how do we promote it? YK Alag Committee recommendations talks about incorporating the new section 9A through which the amendment was done under the Indian Companies Act 1956. Promotion of it was launched by the Department of Agriculture Cooperation scheme, which talks about one district, one product, cluster-based organizations to be developed, formation and promotion of FPOs. A minimum of 300 farmers are needed to qualify for a FPO in plain area. For hilly area, it's around 100 farmers, and 15 to 20 farmers in an adjacent area can come up as farmer interest group, self-help group, or farmer club. There are various activities associated to it which focus on per unit production activities like cleaning, sorting, grading, storage, and so on. The progress of FPO is remarkable. We have seen NABARD, SFAC, and the National Cooperation, the Cooperative Development Corporation focusing on it. There are more than 5,000 FPOs which run through several programs across last 10 years. The most mobilized farmers are from Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, and then we do have from Karnataka, West Bengal, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. The idea is to specifically handhold the small and marginal farmers, bring them through the better methods of training and give them higher returns, educate them, provide them leadership skills, and focus on a sustainable agricultural outlook model. So to outreach for these cooperatives, there are two important legislations: Cooperative Societies Act 2012 and Multi-Stage Cooperatives Act 2002. Both of them aim to bring in information technology, focus on local markets, availability of online content. In India, we have talked about three important cooperatives. If we talk about worldwide, in Spain, Oles Tespa talks about production of olive oil, and that is a cooperative with nearly 7,000 members working over 61,000 hectares of land. Another company is GCOOP, which is making use of Internet of Things for olive and tomato production. In France, it is In Vivo for nearly grouping 200 different cooperatives to expand to an internet-based platform. So rules and regulations related to smart farming, talking about a common agricultural policy, the code of conduct by the European Union for data sharing, Food Safety Modernization Act are some of the initiatives. In India, we have a digital ecosystem of agriculture framework, which is an outlook for the farmers database, creating a better ecosystem, talking about cooperatives, agricultural credit societies, NABARD, and a financial grid, bringing ICT, Internet of Things, and blockchain technology. We are moving on with better supply chain management, and a drone based production linkage incentive scheme has been started under the notification of Drones Rule 2021. If we talk about India, India has turned from a milk deficit nation to a milk exporter nation after the cooperative revolution in India started for milk, and that was under White Revolution, where, as you can see, the production increased from 17 million tons to 210 million tons in a period of nearly 70 years. That's a remarkable progress in the sector of milk production. So these are some of the key things that we have discussed for this edition. We'll be covering Yojana and Kurukshetra on a regular basis. Stay subscribed for further updates. Have a wonderful day ahead.